So you're looking for a Bloodied heavy gunner. Now here's the build for you. This build focuses on high damage as well as good resistances and can handle the raids in all content of the game. The full build link will be in the description if you'd like to take a look at that. Now that we have the points distributed, here is the perk cards that we are using. Now this is very similar to what my season 19 heavy gunner crit build looks like. The only difference now is that we have more investment into agility for the onslaught and gorilla perk cards as well as gunslinger. Now if you're not the type of player to sit up close, you can remove gorilla so you can free up 3 points that you can use elsewhere or replace it with another perk card that you might find more useful. But if you do remove that card, you gotta make sure that you keep the Gorilla Master because Furious will still scale off the stacks that perk card will provide. But now that we have our perk cards taken care of, let's go ahead and take a look at the legendaries. So what we have here is our 5 main perk cards, which is the Endurance, Luck, Intelligence, Strength, and Agility. All of these maxed out and not in that order. But you can replace the 6th card with whatever kind of perk card you like. That is a throwaway card. For me personally, I like to use Take One for the team because it does more damage and I find it more useful. But now that we've taken a look at all the legendary perk cards, let's take a look at the gear. Now for our gear, I'm using a full set of Overeaters +2 luck food drink chem Overeaters power armor. None of them have 4 stars, and in the future I would like to replace this with the exact same rolls as a Vulcan set and with Rangers 4-star. Now just a little heads up, this build is kind of gauged more towards the +2 luck for your PA, but if you're the type of player to use limit breaking, you can do that as well. Of course you can also use the conductor setup for the infinite AP if you would like, although that might require a little bit more agility and max AP investment. Now for the weapon, we have a Furious Faster Fire 25 LVC Pinpointers Gatling Plasma with a Prime Receiver, Stinging Core, and Accelerated Barrel. Now normally this is my setup for a private server when I do raids because it registers a lot better because of little server lag. And in the clips you're about to see for the damage, it's going to be in a public server with a team using this exact same weapon. The other alternative I would recommend is 50 crit instead of faster fire rate, calibrated instead of prime, or you can do swift instead of stinging for less AP. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, you can also do the conductor setup if you would like. Now for anyone who wants to push their damage even further with this weapon, it doesn't have to be for this build specifically, here are some of the buffs that you can use. I unfortunately ran out of overdrive, but that is the one main one I would recommend for the chem. Otherwise, you can use Psycho Tats or Psycho Buffs, whichever you prefer. As a Bloodied, if I don't have Overdrive, I would highly recommend Psycho Tats because it doesn't mess with your radiation or HP, but you can use Psycho Buffs if that's what you like. Now for the magazines, you have 3 different options. Tesla Science 9 for the heavy gun crit damage, Tesla Science 7 for the energy gun crit damage, or the Guns and Bullets 9 for the plasma gun crit damage. Now any of these 3 will work for the Gatling Plasma or the Plasma Caster. Everything else can work for every other heavy gun, of course depending on what damage type it is, whether it's ballistic or energy. Gatling lasers will not benefit off of Guns and Bullets 9, and of course the plasma and the energy will not benefit any of the ballistic weapons. Now for the bobblehead, there's only one that you can use, which is the big guns. Unfortunately, the energy guns bobblehead does not affect the plasma caster, the Gatling lasers, or the Gatling plasma, which doesn't make any sense, but it is what it is. Now as an herbivore, you have some crit food buffs that you can use. 2 that I like to use are the Blight Soup and the Sweet Mudfruit Tea. Sweet Mudfruit Tea for a longer duration, Blight Soup for ease of crafting. I know that there is a ton of different crit drinks and foods and such that you can use as an herbivore, but these are the 2 that I like, so use what you prefer, use what's easier for you. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at how it fares inside of the raids. Now we're here at the Guardian, and the damage that we're able to deal on the shield battery is roughly around 500 to 700 due to Take One for the team. But for whatever reason, whenever I'm with a full team, I can get that damage up to 800 per crit. But 700 to 500 is really not that bad, especially for a faster fire rate where the crits aren't proccing as consistently as they should. But you can see that the damage is being done and that shield battery is going down relatively quick. We're going to skip ahead and hit the torso, and you can see how quickly This weapon and this build is able to tear down the health of the Guardian inside of a public server using a faster fire rate Gatling Plasma, hitting upwards to 4k per crit. Not bad, right? But now let's move on to the trio, and this is the kind of damage that we're getting. We have all of our buffs active like we did in the Guardian, and we're able to absolutely melt through the Enclave soldiers. Now in this clip I eventually end up dying because I forgot that I was a bloody build. I've gotten used to becoming a ghoul, doing relatively the same amount of damage, being able to take these guys out pretty quickly, and I forgot to heal, and yeah, I ended up dying. But for now, you can see that we are able to tear through their health. Doesn't matter who it is, Bloodhound, Vulture, or Lynx, we can take their health down pretty quickly. Remember friends, stim when you get hit, stim when you get staggered, or else something like this will happen. Yep. Now as for the snake, the damage is actually just as good as it was on the Guardian as well as the Enclave soldiers. We're hitting roughly around 2700 per crit with all of our buffs active. And of course, if you're staying on top of your stim packs, you'll be able to not only tank the melee hit from the snake, but you can also tank the damage from his rapid fire spit. As you can see, we're sitting right there in the poison, taking his shots, no poison resistance needed, and we are still pushing out a ton of damage. Now of course, if you have other players with just as strong builds, this can go a lot faster, but this group did a fantastic job. A lot of them were fairly new to raids, and I gotta commend them for that. But for that last 15% health, we were hitting upwards to 4500. But that about covers it, guys. I hope you guys found the information useful. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do decide to try this build, I hope you enjoy that as well. Now, if you guys have any questions, please be sure to let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them as best as I can. And again, just a quick reminder, there is a build link in the description if you guys want to take a look. And for anyone who is interested in trying to find people to raid with or a community to hang out with, I do stream. You guys can take a look at the description as well for a link, or you can subscribe and tune into live streams Mondays through Fridays. But as always, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Happy hunting, good luck, and I'll see you guys in the next one.